Hello? Oh, good, it works. So if you'll forgive me just really quickly, they put us on a timer. And anyone who knows me knows that a girl can talk. So I'm gonna set a little timer that'll tell my watch, shut up, Malia, it's time to go, before the hook takes me off the stage. How are you all doing today? Really? Come on, how are you doing today? Let's go! There is a whole energy that comes from women supporting women, and that is what we are here today to do. So, as mentioned by the fabulous Alicia, can we talk about just really quickly that outfit? That blazer? I am dressed for Success Seattle. I mean, we're gonna talk about it. So, as mentioned, my name is Malia Razzaia, and I am so excited to be here with you today for 9.5 minutes. This is what I've been told. I have a question for you. How many of you had a dream of what you wanted to be someday when you grew up? I expected to see most hands. Okay, tell me what it was. Somebody tell me. Interior designer, dancer. What else did I hear? A diplomat. Who said doctor? Doctor? Astronaut. All right, Melissa, I see you stealing my future, my next slide. All right, so I was gonna be an astronaut teacher. I was gonna be a teacher like my grandma, which anyone who knows me now would laugh hysterically, because kids. And I was gonna do it in space, because there was 100% going to be a space station on the moon that I was gonna teach at. So here's a little Malia, who was prepping for that flight license. That was my grandfather's Cessna. He taught me how to fly. And I was 150% gonna do this, right? I was so excited. And then, when I got into, do you guys want to keep looking at cute Malia, or do you want me to move on? All right. As I got older, right, society started to close in. The expectations of society began to close in. How many of you, particularly the women in this room, have felt that feeling? Yeah, right? We start to get told who we are, what we do, what makes us a good girl, right? What in society tells us that we have this and this and this role, and that brings us to being the good girl or the good woman. So when I was in 5th grade, Mrs. Bolstad went out on maternity leave, and we had a sub. Why do you need to know this? You don't. I'm just very traumatized from it. And so we did, what is that? That's state mandatory testing where they give you Scantron bubbles, and I kind of just drew pictures with them because I was probably just bored. And so I did very, very well in literature, math, the Englishes, right? The humanities. But I wanted to be an astronaut. And so I knew that at some point I was going to have to dig into STEM. But when those results came back, and they told me that I did really, really well in the humanities, but I only did okay in STEM, here's what I heard from more than one person. That's okay. You can do the humanities. Lots of women are very successful in the humanities. You don't need STEM, right? Anyone else in this room experience at some point in their education where they were told they didn't need to worry about STEM? Right? It happens time and time again, where we're told, it's okay, you can be the good girl, and you can pursue careers that women pursue, right? Men do that. You're okay. And so, what are you gonna do in that situation? There was no one there to support me, and so I was the good girl. And I studied English, got a degree. I got a dual degree in philosophy and religious studies because why not? This was before 2008. I know I don't look it, but it was. And really, I knew it just mattered that I had the degree, right? I wasn't going to be an astronaut anymore. I mean, that wasn't going to happen. So I just glad I had a degree. In fact, that's what my mom used to tell me. It doesn't matter what your degree is in. It's just that you have it. Be a good girl and get it, right? So I did. Why not? But it never really sat with me, this idea of being a good girl. I never wanted the life that other people wanted. See my earlier comment, kids. And I mean, I was like, I guess I could get married, but he took a really long time to show up. So good news, he did, but we were like near 40, so you took your time. So I was like, well, what am I going to do with my life? And so I started to travel. I moved overseas for like 10 years. I've been to 70-something countries, I don't know. We were just talking earlier that everything I have on comes from some random country, right, that I've collected. And continually, I got told, do this, do that. And when I didn't, and I didn't fit in, I was not a good girl, right? I got pushback. I got told that I did this wrong or that wrong. I remember getting called into an office for one of my early jobs at a Fortune bajillion company. And the male boss and the male vice president sat me down, and I'm over here. Okay, to be real, I was 23, so I thought I knew everything. I mean, I totally did, right? But I sat down with them, and I thought I was rocking it. I was like, again, the good girl, right? I got a college degree. I was going to work in the corporate world. I was the wear your tennis shoes until you get to work and put your pumps on once you get there kind of good girl, right? And I sit down, and they look at me, and they say, Malia, you show too much cleavage. That was it. I got ripped apart. Nothing about my work, right? Just, I show too much cleavage because I didn't fit in their box of what made a good girl in the corporate world. Or really in life, if I'm being honest. And it crushed me at the time. Now, I wish I could get in a room with them and be like, have you seen me? I could wear a turtleneck and show cleavage. Like, come on. But did I think of that at the time? No. Flight, fright, or freeze. I freeze. I still do, it's terrible. So, with that, I spent the rest of my life saying, you know what, forget it. I'm not gonna be a good girl. Shh, you don't know me. I now have a minute and a half to do this. So, I started traveling, I started working, I started building my passion for women. And when I came to an amazing country called Georgia, anybody heard of Georgia? Not the state. Okay. Has anybody been to Georgia? Oh my God. Can we talk about khinkali and khachapuri? I still have dreams about it. By the way, that's a cheese boat and some dumplings. I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. There was a term there called kargi gogo. Anybody know what kargi gogo means? It means good girl. It's a Georgian term that they use when they feel that a young woman is fitting into the mold, right? Very traditional society. And so all the time, in Georgian, apparently I'm a very polite and humble young woman, because I don't know how many of you speak multiple languages, but you know how your personality kind of shifts with different languages. So in English, I'm this, and apparently in Japanese, I'm a jerk. I didn't know that. Or a man, actually, so it's like either one. Like I speak masculine Japanese, so I'm a jerk. Anyway, not that Japanese men are jerks. A woman speaking it is a jerk. Okay, anyway. So in Georgian, I'm a delightful young woman. And my friends and family there would always say, oh, Malia, karki gogohar. you're such a good girl. And in Georgian, I'd be like, oh, matloba, matloba. That means thank you. In English, I'd be like, you don't know me. But it made me think. It made me think about, and I know I'm about to run out of time and you guys can hook me off this. It made me think about what makes a good girl. And I decided I wanted to flip it on its head. That being a good girl is about what you want, not what somebody else tells you. Being a good girl is about defining what that looks like for you and who you are going to be. And being a good girl is following your path, whether it takes you and your loud mouth to a stage that you're about to get kicked off of because you're running over, or you're quietly coding in the back to change the world. I don't care what it looks like. Being a good girl is about you and living in your authentic self. 100%. It doesn't matter what It does not matter what society tells us, and I know right now we're in a situation where society is trying to tell us, oh, it does matter, and I will stand here, I will die on this hill, it doesn't matter. You are the only one that defines what a good girl is. That's it. And a good girl is whatever you want it to be. So, with that, last year, Grace, the executive director, Grace Yo, from the Washington State Women's Commission, stood up here and told you a little bit about the work that the Washington State Women's Commission was doing. Does anybody remember? So you remember we're number 2, Washington State is, as in the second worst for gender pay equity in the entire nation. Guys, we only beat out Utah. Like literally Florida did better than us. Florida, Tennessee. Well, actually Tennessee's kind of great, but anyway, So, good food. I'm happy to report that the newest reports came out. Where do you think we're at now? We did climb. We're doing better. Close. 6th. So, I don't know who's behind us now. I'm sure Utah still is. But hopefully so is Florida. So, right? And one of the other good news pieces of good, if you call this good, I'm not really sure. It's better, but one of the other good pieces of news is that we have decreased the gender pay gap by about $1,000. It was over $18,000, and now it's down to $17,000. We are incredibly proud of the work being done both by Dress, by Be Bold, by the commission. I don't think I have any more. Just that. But that being said, as you listen to the women tonight and the speakers tonight, I ask you, these are good girls who have redefined what that means in their industries and their work. So my challenge to you as you listen to them, what did they do different and what can you do different? How can you be the good girl you should always have been all along, because it's you, not anybody else.